All right, welcome to the first Blues Day Tuesday, where every Tuesday I'm going to bring you a new blues guitar lesson. This one is kind of a beginner's blues lesson, but it has a lot of riffs in it that I haven't covered in any of the other blues lessons recently. So even if you have been watching those and you don't consider yourself a beginner, there's plenty in here for you to check out. So the first thing I'm going to look at is sometimes you don't want to always just play these chords. You might want to do some type of a riff. So we're going to talk about a couple different riffs. So that's our first riff. We're going to start in A in this case. We've got the A, and that's like a swung kind of a beat. It's like a 1, 2, 3. So it's like triplets with the middle one missing. That's kind of what a shuffle feel and a swing beat is. So we have, we're going to the octave of that A. That's the 7th fret of the D string, whatever finger you want. So we're 7 to 5 on that D string. Then we got the 7 on the A string. So 3, 4. We'll do this 4 times. Now we're going down to the D, the 4 chord, and then we're back up. Now we're going to the 5 chord. It's going to be this E here on the 5th string. 3, 4. Down to the D, 5th. Back to the A. We'll do the A again. And that will finish off our 12-bar blues. So let's go ahead and do that again. We'll run like 2 cycles this time. And I'm going to add something to it as we go. So you guys could be soloing in your A minor pentatonic or your A major pentatonic. You could be playing that over this, or you can be playing this riff with me, either one you want. So here we go, 2, 3, 4. Down to the D. Back up to the A. And then the E. D. And again on the A. And then we're starting again. So this time I'm adding this. Okay, so that's just adding in the 5, 6, and 7 and the string in between those 2 octaves we started with. 5, 6, 7 on the A string. So let's try it again. 2, 3, 4. You could either pick them or you could kind of hammer that first one. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is like a walking bass line type of a riff. So here's where we'd have like a... Okay, so we're going to start on the A. We're going to go to the 3 of that. If you think of the major scale, we're going to be using the notes of the 1, not the 2, but we're going to use the 3, not the 4, but we'll use the 5. And we'll also use the 6 and the flat 7. So 1, 3, 5. That's your major triad. 1, 3, 5, 6, flat 7, 6, 5, 3. That's our riff. 2, 3, and. We'll keep doing that one. Let's take it down a string to the D. Now we'll go up to the E, D, A. Let's end on an E. And then back to the A. Okay, now we could do things like double hit that. Try that. A 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 times. Let's go to D. Back to A. E. Straight back to A. One more time. Okay, so you could be soloing over that, or you could be playing that stuff with me. So let's take it a lot slower for the people who can't do it that fast. 3, 4. Alright, you could also do it where it's kind of that swing feel within the notes and kind of staccato too, like bum, ba-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Let's try that. 3, 4. Now let's just do a jam in that A. I'll do the regular type of chords that I normally do. We have this 7 chord, if you haven't seen this yet. 5, 7, 5, 6, 5, 5. We go down to this D7, 5 on the 5th string, 5, 4, 5, 3. And we take it up for the E chord, 7, 6, 7, 5. Now you could also do these dominant 7, 9 chords. We got to get that finger to get the bottom 3 there. It's 5, 4, 5, 5, 5. Same shape up here. So let's jam a little bit in A, and then we're going to do a couple endings. We're going to do some walk-ups and some endings. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. So when we're talking about doing the blues soloing, also remember you have your... Those are kind of your easiest bends to start working with. You got this 7th fret of the G string. You also have this 8th fret of the 2nd string. Same thing on the bottom string. Plus we have this way to come up into this higher position, which is extremely common. you have that higher bend note. So let's jam one more time in A. 2, 3, and. All right, now let's look at some endings. So we're going to be in this E7 chord over here, open 2, open 1, open, open. And we're going to have some blues endings here. So the first one we're going to have is this walking up ending. Okay, so this could be like a beginning of a tune, because we're going to end with this one, which keeps us back into the E, whereas a real ending we would kind of go and finish on the key that we're in. So this is, let's call this like the beginning of a tune. And then you'd be in your E blues. So that was a big one. 404, open on the A, back to the 4. 101, 2, and then we had the C9 to B9, and that would get us into an E blues. Now if we wanted to end an E blues, same riff, but we'll go F7 to E7 to finish that one. Okay, now here's another one for E. We'd have so that was 3 to the open on the small one, 3 on the second, 2 open 2, 1 open 1, and then open on the second string, 0 1 2 on the A string there to a B7 chord, which is 2 1 2 open 2. We're going to use that quite a few times right here. So once again we had. And see how it's nice when you let them ring together, so get that finger real tall, so you hear that tension. Okay, now the next one we're going to do is going to be the chord to start, and then we have 4 on the G string, the 3rd string, and 4 on the little E string. You can kind of hammer in that first fret, just part of that E7 chord. So same ending there with that B7. Another one we could do would be so that was by, I used my fingers on that so I could pinch these real tight, make them staccato, and of course they're at the same time. Here I was able to pick that small one and pick that one, so they're kind of distinctly separate without having to do like a whole chord thing in the middle. So okay, now here's a new one. So that one I went big bass note, little E, and then I started getting on these 5s on the 5th string and 2nd string to the 4. So the 5 stays where it's at, but the bass goes down. 3 5 3 2 and 5 at the same time. So and then we could also do the one where we do that at the same time. One more time on that one. Now the last one I'm going to give you is really cool, and we're going to go to the A7 chord here. Open 2, open 2, open. This is going to have contrary motion. So first we hit the chord, and we're going to have a 5 on the 4th string, the D string, and a 2 on the 2nd string. We're going to go. So as I take the 5 down to 4, I'm taking the 2 up to 3. So we're going in a different direction. So we got, and then 3 and 4, and 2 and 5. And that would end with a, to get to the 5 of the A chord. So once again, that was A7. Okay, so that's 5 2 5, 4 3 4, 3 4 3, and then the 2 and the 5 at the same time. And I was going 5 6 7 to that E7 chord, 7 6 7 5. Okay, so that was your Blues Day Tuesday number 1. We had some walking bass, we had some simplified blues riffs, we had a little bit added to that as well. We had some little walk-ups, we had a lot of descending stuff, and we jammed a few times in A. Hope you all enjoyed that. Thanks for watching Damon with Guitar Lessons. I'll have a little tab to go along with this. We'll see you soon. All right, y'all, welcome to Blues Day Tuesday number 5. Today we're going to talk about playing in different keys. We're going to talk about turnaround riffs in different keys. We're going to talk about movable shapes that are a little bit easier than full bar chords. So a lot of times we do something like this big full 7 chord here. We're going to look at little pieces of that 7 chord. Like if we do a little D chord shape here starting on the D string, 6 7 6, mute the bottom one, mute the top ones. That is also a B flat 7 chord, just like this one. And a lot of times people will play, you get that thumb bass, or you could do that chord like this, but it's a lot easier to just kind of look at it this way for today. Now we can switch here, and that's going to be 5 6 6. That's another way to do that E flat 9 chord, but we don't have to do a bar chord with either of these, so they're a little bit easier than some of that for some people. So I'll stay on this one, and then we go to that E flat 7 9. That's our 4 chord. Back to the 1 chord. Now think about that 4 chord. If we take it up 2, that's our 5 chord. We'll go back 2 for the 4 chord, and then we switch shapes. That's our 1 chord. We could go back to the high one, and that's like the F7 9 there. So these are cool little shapes to be able to see. Let's try it. 2 3 and. Okay, so I want you to check out one thing. Let's look at this B flat over here. Okay, so this is a B major pentatonic happy blues scale. Okay, as opposed to always doing the minor pentatonic. That's the major pentatonic. Okay, so how about you guys do the major pentatonic, and I'm going to do this progression. 2 3 and. Okay, and then you also have your minor pentatonic. You got your add fifth notes if you want to get extra bluesy with the full blues scale. You also have moving into higher positions. So how about try that one? 2, 3, and. A turnaround, and the 1 to the 5. We'll start it again. So you can really play with whichever scale you want. You can go from a happier vibe to a darker vibe, more bluesy vibe. Okay, let's look at a little turnaround that you might finish that with. So we look always at like where the major chord would be. So we're in B flat, this is a B flat major. See that 7 and 6, 7 on the G string. Goes to the 8s, the 9s, and the 10s. So the 10 is where you kind of start a lot of those. So if you can see where your major chord is from your 7 chord, big bar chord shape, right? You see those notes. You know those are the little double stop notes that get you up into those notes that you could do a cool intro or outro. So an intro could be like, and then instead of going into the 1 chord from 1 fret below, we would go into the higher chord. So we'd go, or 1 up from that. So it'd be like. Okay, because that takes us to that F chord, so I just went 1 higher. If you were doing the whole thing, it'd be like that. So I was just doing those middle ones, so you wouldn't have to do a bar chord in this case. So we got. Okay, and if you were doing an ending, you'd be on those other strings doing that D chord shape on the 5th into the 6th, which was the B flat. So you could also do something like. So that would be a 9, 6, 9, 8, 6, 8, 7, 6, 7, 6s. So what if we were in a different key? So let's look at, what if we were in A? So if we were in A, find an A note up here, see our 7 chord, and this would be the part of it that we're going to use for this type of a thing. This would be the major shape. That gives you these notes. And this is G string, E string. So. And this is our chord, so that'd be like the ending. Now if we looked at our, so that's our chord, this is our lower chord, this is our higher chord. So we'd go 1 above this for an intro. So an intro would be like. Okay, because that takes us F to E down there. Okay, and we would be, if we wanted A major pentatonic, we could start on the A. I call it the My Girl thing, this major pentatonic. It's like. Because it moves into a new position right away. So that's the easy way that I remember how the major pentatonic gets going everywhere. So here's an A. So that's your happy blues scale. So why don't you try that for A, 2, 3, and. Okay, we're going to talk about another thing here today. Let's go to the key of C. So we got the C major chord. So we got, if we wanted to do like a boogie woogie, you might come up here to reach that easier. But that can be a big stretch for some people. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at this little movable shape bar chord. So this is 5 on the D, G, and B, part of a C chord, mute in the bottom. What we're going to do is we're going to go. It's kind of more manageable if you have smaller hands and stuff. So we got those 5s, we're coming into the 7 on the D string. So we could just do that. And that'd be our 1 chord. Now did you know that when you want the 4 chord for a blues, you just go up 5 frets. So we went from the 5th to the 10th. Back to 5. And then we're going to go 2 above that to the 12. Down. Back to the first one. I just did those 10s, 11s, and 12s to do a little turnaround. So if you wanted C, see your C right here within that chord, 3rd string. If you wanted your major pentatonic, so let's jam on that major pentatonic. Or you can play rhythm with me. 2, 3, and. Up to 10s. Back. 12s to 10s. 5. Turn around. And again. Sometimes you got the quick change. And you really want to keep those real tall so you hear all the notes in the chord. Like I say, the pinky is optional. So what if we wanted the key of F? Well, we just want to find this chord on those strings. So where does that belong? So we could find it up here on the 10th fret. That's our F. That was our 4 chord. Here's our F bass note. So that'd be the chord we'd be using. So if we went 5 up from that, that would be up here. See, that's our first dot. Here's our first dot. That's a B flat. So we could go from this F down to B flat. That's our 4 chord. Back to the 4 chord. And when you go for the 5 chord, think of where your 4 chord was and go up to. Down to the 4. And between those notes is me going from that 4 up to that 5 chromatically like that. So let's also look at the key of C, minor pentatonic. With that flat 5th. So how about you guys use that scale this time? Alright, I got a little happy there. Okay, so you guys use your minor pentatonic. Or you could start in this C and look at your major pentatonic. Whenever you want it to go real happy vibe, you can go major pentatonic. Now eventually you'll be able to use all kind of different mixing major scales with minor pentatonic scales. And you'll see the arpeggio and stuff. We'll keep working on all that stuff. Look at the other blues videos I've made for kind of introductions into those things, arpeggios and stuff. Okay, so you got your major pentatonic for C. You got your minor pentatonic. You can throw those flat 5ths in there. So we're going to jam in the key of C again. 2, 3, and. Where does our C start? Up here, so we have. So if we were in the key of F, based on this one, we could look at our F note here to get us into that major pentatonic. Get us into that happy blues vibe. Or we could go down here to this F, look at our minor pentatonic, flat fifth in there. Or you could be up here in the octave. So let's play a little bit in F. 2, 3, and. Think about we're in the key of F. Think about where our F shape is. Now the F chord here would be like that. 1, 2, 1 on the D, G, and B. So we'd have to go like open, 1, open to get up into that. We could also look at this F over here. You want to be able to see whether your bass notes on the big string, these chords, and the scales. You want to also kind of see if your bass note was on this lower one, what that chord would look like. So that could end with like a, or even an easier one would be 6, 7, 7 to 7, 8, 8. So we'd have. And if that was the beginning of a song, you go. And think of where the higher chord would be. That would be like a C7 in this case. So it'd be like a. So if this is the C7, we'd go. So we would have 15, 16, 16, and down 1. That'd be one for the beginning of a song to get you into the thing. So that could also look like. C sharp to C type of thing. Okay, hope you all enjoyed Blues Day Tuesday number 5. We shall see you soon. Thanks a lot. Happy jamming. Hey folks, welcome to Blues Day Tuesday number 3. Today we're going to be talking about Freddie King and the album Let's Dance and Hide Away. This was an instrumental blues album from the early 60s. Some of the greatest blues playing you'll ever hear. So we're going to start out with a blues in C called Butterscotch. So let's check out the riff. So we got 2 C's up here to the octave, and then we're hitting that 10th fret of the A string. And then we're hitting our flat 7 here on the 8th fret of the D string. Back to the 5 note, back to the 1. So that's pretty easy. I was just doing kind of the same fill each time. He does a little bit different each time. You can do your own stuff in that spot as well, like I'm talking about. So we got like 3 bends on that 10th fret of the G string. Take it down, 8, pull off to that 10 on the D. And then we're going to the 4 chords, F. So all those things are the same, just a string down. And on the F there, same fill, back to C. Then we're going to go up to the 5 chord. So that was 10 on the A string to its octave, to the D string 12. We got 10, 12, 10. Same thing based on that F on the 8th fret. And then at the end, we're going to slide into that G, that 5 chord with a half step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 times of that. So once again, we got 3, 4. Okay, so let's do it this time where you guys take a fill in that space. So 2, 3, 4. Take it. And okay, so that was Butterscotch in the key of C. Now we're going to look at one. This was one of my favorite ones of his. Hideaway is a big tune. This is the first tune on this record. I did a whole lesson on Hideaway. So if you'd like to check out Hideaway, I've got a full in-depth lesson on that, and you could take a look at the link over here. This is one of my favorites, though. This is called Sen-Sa-Shun. S-E-N, and then dash, and then S-A, and then dash, and then S-H-U-N. Sen-Sa-Shun. So this has some really cool sliding things. It reminds me of that tune Empty Arms by Stevie Ray Vaughan that I just did a lesson on like last week. It's got the sliding like triple thing going on. So it's like... So what we got there is we got the bottom 3 strings. So we got the 7s sliding into the 8s here on the bottom 3 strings. And then we go 7, 8, 7, 5. So we got... we hit those 7 5s again, and then we go D string 7 5. So... so dum 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 da dum dum. See how that's an upstroke and it's tight staccato. And he'll rake up and get some of the... and then we have... so that was 7 on the D to the 5 on the G and back. So we go 7 5 4 times. Now we're going to bend that 7 on the G string, hit the bottom string on the 5. So that's easy enough. Down, 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 down. Now we're going to go. So we're going to hammer on 5 6, hit the 5 5 real quick, kind of raking it, and then 8 on the 2nd string. We do that bend already up. And then we kind of rake down to that 5 note on that 7th fret of the A string. So we got... Okay, so it does that a couple times, and then we got. So that's pretty easy, going to the 10 and the 8 on the second string. Little 8 there. So we'll do it twice, and then we go. So we're bending that 10 3 times, and then we're going down to the 8. Pull off the 2 10s there. And then do kind of whatever you want. Gonna end with that same riff. Now later we're gonna have a riff. So what's happening there is open to 2 on the big string, then back to the A string and back. And then we're hitting the 3 on the A string. So it keeps doing that. Let's do it slow. 3, 4. So it does that like all of the times of the whole 12 bar. So only at the very end you go. And you hit the open to 1 and the G string to the little E. Because we're in A, but that is like the last of the 12 bars. So that'd be the last E kind of turnaround there. So it's. That'd be like the last end of it. Okay, so that was Sen-Sa-Shun. One more time. Okay, so the ending of that is going to be. So little 5, 8, 5. Got your little half stepper thing there. So we come on down to the D dum dum, and then B flat 7, A 7. So we got. Okay, so that was Sen-Sa-Shun, Freddie King, off the Let's Dance and Hideaway album. Now we're going to do one called Wash Out. This is going to be in G. Okay, so we got the big G note here. We got those 5s to 3s on the G string, B string. 3, 4, 5 here on the A string. So we got. And then we come to the C, we're going to go. So we got. That's our root note of our octave of our C. We're doing this hammer in where we're going to 8s on the G and B string, hammering into the 9 on the G string. And we have those 10s here with this ring finger on the G and B string again. Up to the D. Right after the 3 is where we come in. So 1, 2, 3. C. And you can do that 8, 9, 10 in there on the 5th string. And then it's also got one of these little rhythms here. So that's just the octave, flat 7, 5, down to the C, back, up to the 5 chord, okay, so that one. Now, as soon as I do that hammer on, I'm coming back down to our G position. 3, 5, 3 on the B string. Same fill, basically, as that other tune. All right, thanks for watching Blues Day Tuesday number 3. That was 3 tunes from Freddie King's Let's Dance and Hideaway. Like I say, if you want to check out the tune Hideaway, I have a lesson on that as well. But that was Butterscotch in C. That was Sensation with the sliding triple notes in A minor. And that was Washout in G. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.